Caden's mind couldn't accept that Damon found his mate, but Caden didn't have an alternate explanation for Damon's bizarre behavior. If that girl is Damon's mate, why didn't he say something? Maya rolled her eyes. Because that's Damon. He won't admit it even if you ask him outright. But think about it. Erratic behavior, one moment he wants to leave and the second one we stay? Since when does Damon refuse a free meal? He requested a tour of the Red Moon Pack, and you know that he always avoided those because when he saw things he didn't like, Damon never stayed quiet. And in the car, Damon stuck to the girl, and we both saw how gentle he acted with her. The only explanation is that he found his mate. Maya pointed at the phone. Caden, you know better than anyone how much Damon cherishes the Dark Howler's pack. He wouldn't risk provoking the Red Moon Pack by smuggling a random woman. She's either his long-lost sister or his mate. Caden remembered how, when he met Maya, the only thing he wanted involved being with her, and nothing could get in his way, not even war. Everything Maya said made sense and pointed to the possibility that the girl who came from the trunk represented Damon's mate. Maya always showed intelligence. Caden chuckled with a hint of evil sparkling in his eyes. Damon doesn't want to admit that the girl is his mate? Let's see how long he can pull that off. Maya had a bad feeling about this. She would never consider going against Damon, even if it's a joke. However, Caden didn't have problems with it. What do you have on your mind? Maya asked reluctantly. Let's observe, for now. Caden said while rubbing his chin with the tips of his fingers. Caden didn't want to share too much with Maya, knowing that she wouldn't approve and probably worry. But Damon gave a hard time to Caden ever since he found Maya, and Caden thought how this presented a great opportunity to get even. Caden noticed one more oddity. Assuming that Talia represented Damon's mate, something didn't seem right. She appeared indifferent toward Damon. Did she not know Damon represented her mate? Damon said how something seemed off with Talia's wolf, but based on her scent, Caden knew she definitely belonged to werewolves, and he concluded that nothing seemed wrong with her. If Talia is Damon's mate, there existed so many things Caden could do to rile up Damon. And if Damon hid the truth, it would only make things easier for Caden. Caden's smile widened while he thought of wicked ways to mess with his alpha. He could try to separate them, or to make Damon believe he had competition. Caden would pay big money to see Damon drowning in jealousy. Ha! This would be fun. Maya observed Caden's expression that changed rapidly, and she knew that Caden came up with something Damon wouldn't like. Damon and Caden stood at the helm of the largest pack in North America, yet the two of them sometimes behaved no better than toddlers. However, that childish and playful attitude Damon showed only toward Caden and not for anyone else, Damon had a nasty temper. If that woman really represented his mate, Damon would only be more irritable if anyone messed with her. Maya disconnected the video call so that Damon and Talia had privacy. Maya felt happy for Damon. Finding a mate brought wonderfulness for any werewolf. They gave each other comfort and purpose in life, and she understood how Damon felt lonely under that grumpy facade. Would Talia make a good Luna? Well, if Damon and Talia represented mates, Talia would become their Luna, regardless of her readiness for the job. But Maya didn't worry. Everything could be learned as long as there existed a will, and Maya would happily hand over her current duties to Talia so that she could focus on helping Caden as a beta. At the same time, Maya felt sorry for Talia. Damon didn't present an easy man to be with, and Talia would definitely have a hard time. I don't think Damon will wake up the girl, Caden said. That gives us probably a few hours. He wiggled his eyebrows mischievously while inching closer to Maya in slow motion. Talia dreamt that she stood in a forest. It appeared light and airy despite the massive trees that surrounded her. She picked up a delicious scent of dark chocolate, and her tummy rumbled. She felt hungry. Talia started moving about, trying to locate the source of that scent. It had been years since she ate chocolate the last time, and she really wanted to have some now. She walked slowly at first, but then she broke into a run as the scent became more potent, inviting her to enjoy the smooth, sweet delicacy. Suddenly, a tree appeared out of nowhere, and Talia slammed herself into it, just like in cartoons, with her arms and legs around it. "Ah!" Talia cried softly, and her eyes fluttered open. There existed no forest and no tree. Damn it. It represented a dream, a potentially tasty one. She wished that it lasted only a few more seconds so that she could get a bite or two of that delicacy that called for her. Maybe if she closed her eyes, she could resume that dream and find the source of that mouth-watering scent. Talia thought how something didn't seem right. She ascertained that she woke up, however, she could still smell the forest and the dark chocolate, and she definitely hugged something. Talia blinked, and her drowsy state turned into panic immediately. She found herself in an unknown room, and the thing she hugged didn't represent a tree, but a sleeping alpha. What the heck? Why did their legs lay one over the other? And why did his biceps serve as her pillow? Talia carefully removed her hands from Damon's body and tried to move away from him, only to realize that she couldn't move. Ah! His arm encircled her and she couldn't budge. She felt like crying. When Damon told her to come with him, he mentioned a room and clothes and food and a doctor, and there existed no mentioning of this. Hugging. Talia wondered, how did she find herself in this situation? The last thing she remembered involved dozing off in the back of a car. How did she end up in a room, in the bed, with an alpha holding her against him? Talia wanted to go back to her attic, or maybe into the trunk of the car. Anything seemed better than here. She noticed the even fallen rise of his chest, and she concluded that he slept, so she relaxed a bit. Talia looked up at the man beside her, and her breath hitched at the sight of Damon's gorgeous visual. His unruly raven hair fell over his forehead, long lashes, full lips, strong jaw. Everything about him looked handsome, even the small bump at the base of his nose and a day-old stubble. It should be illegal to be this attractive, Talia thought. No wonder Princess Marcy raged at the thought that Alpha Damon might think bad of her. Talia shook those thoughts away and chided herself. She should not think of Alpha Damon as attractive. Actually, she should not think about him at all. Talia painfully understood her non-existent background, and if she allowed herself to see Alpha Damon as anything more than her benefactor, as someone who took pity on her, she would only deceive herself and end up hurting.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Talia glanced around, as much as her current position allowed, and observed the hotel room. It looked nice and clean. What about the other two people? She concluded that this didn't represent the Dark Howler's pack. Did they make a stop along the way? Maybe this marked the part where she found out how Damon tricked her, and he planned to sell her kidneys and liver, and then discard her in the forest for beasts to eat her. She didn't dare to wake Damon up, and she couldn't get out of his hold without big movements either. She felt stuck. Talia resigned herself to the current situation, and she slowly returned to her original position, with her head on Damon's arm. But this time, she kept her hands to herself. Just thinking that her arm draped over his firm abs made her blush profusely. Talia took a deep breath and savored Damon's scent of forest and dark chocolate. It smelled nice, and for some unknown reason, it relaxed her. She closed her eyes in the hope of falling asleep and dreaming of that chocolatey forest again. Talia let out a long exhale, and in the next moment, Damon shifted sideways, entrapping her completely in his arms and holding her so close that her face stuck to his chest. His breath seeped into her scalp, making her hair stand on ends. Talia couldn't see when Damon's lips lifted into a smile. He felt content that she gave up on leaving. From the moment Talia woke up, Damon woke up as well, but he stayed still while waiting to see what she would do. Damon knew Talia had wounds that needed tending, and that she probably felt hungry as well, but he wanted to extend this moment in bed for just a bit longer. Damon cradled Talia in his arms, and he enjoyed the sweet citrusy scent of freesia that somehow got amplified by the sensational sparks wherever his body touched Talia's. He didn't mind Talia's frame, but he would prefer if she felt stronger and not in danger of being carried away by the wind. Ever since she entered his sight 2 days ago, other than cuts and bruises from Marcy's beating, Talia hit her head in the refrigerator, she bumped her forehead in the window of a car, and she fell off of a bed, and those represented only things he saw. Damon felt convinced that Talia seemed prone to injuries. He never saw such a clumsy werewolf. Adorably clumsy. When he held Talia's hand, the sparks felt more intense than over the clothes, and he wondered how it would feel if they increased surface. But Talia seemed uncomfortable around Damon. His wolf stayed silent, but Damon could feel the happiness that radiated from the ancient creature. His index finger brushed her skin, and he jolted upon contact. The sparks felt like an electric current, catching him by surprise, and he cursed internally when Talia stirred. Talia drifted in and out of sleep, and she didn't feel sure if she dreamed about his hand moving about in her area. Talia slowly lifted her head, and she froze when she spotted icy blue eyes which observed her intently. She thought that she might imagine it, or that he did it in his sleep. But this? Just what did this mean? Talia didn't think that she compared to any of the pretty girls, and a guy who looked handsome and powerful like Damon would definitely have plenty of beauties around him. It never crossed her mind that Damon might show interest in her. Talia became painfully aware that he held her. They both lay on their sides facing each other, and his arms encircled her, and he watched her. She wanted to move away or to say something, anything, but her tongue refused to cooperate, and she felt the heat seeping into her cheeks. "Did you have a good sleep?" Damon's deep voice shook the silence away. Talia responded with a small nod. Damon hummed in approval. "How do you feel? Are you in pain?" "It's fine," Talia responded in a small voice and forcibly inhaled to get some oxygen in her system and snap out of her daze. Right. She represented Talia. No one. She escaped the Red Moon Pack, and she had no idea where she headed, but she knew that at that moment she'd been with an alpha, and she felt the urgency to increase the distance between them. No matter how handsome he looked, or how good he smelled, this didn't seem proper. "Hey, do you—" "I have a name," he cut her off sternly. Talia realized that she called him "hey" again, and that he didn't like it. She grew up in the Red Moon Pack, but due to her special circumstances, Talia didn't get exposed to the strict hierarchy that werewolves followed, so those things didn't get ingrained in her. However, she felt familiar with the protocols. "I apologize, Alpha Damon." "Damon," he interrupted her again. It didn't sound right when she used his title to call him. "Just Damon." Alpha represented the title that symbolized strength, while reminding others of respect and submission, and he didn't feel that seemed appropriate for her. "Damon," Talia said awkwardly, and Damon smiled victoriously. "Can you let me go, please?" Damon's smile fell when he heard her question. "Why do you make it sound like I'm holding you against your will?" he asked with a slightly pitiful expression. Talia felt confused. Did she give him permission to hold her? That could happen only if she did it in her sleep. Did she throw herself at him? Damon saw Talia's frantic expression, and he chuckled. "You fell off the bed. I'm holding you so that you don't get another bruise on top of existing ones." "Oh!" A sound escaped Talia's lips. Well, thank you. I'm awake now, so can you let me go? Damon cocked an eyebrow and ignored her question. Do you want to freshen up? While you shower, I can order some food. Will you let me go if I agree? Talia asked helplessly. Not necessarily. Damon responded with a straight face. Talia swallowed hard. If you don't let me go, how will I eat? I can feed you, Damon replied. Damon saw color draining from her face, and he cleared his throat while trying to salvage the situation. I meant, if your injuries bother you, I can help you eat. No need, Talia squeaked, and she scrambled off the bed clumsily the moment Damon released her from his hold. She dashed into the bathroom, closed the door, and locked it with a loud click sound. Damon stared at the door with a complex expression on his handsome face.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Damon forced himself to stop staring at the bathroom door and called room service. He realized that he had no idea what Talia liked to eat, so he decided to get everything from the menu. In his opinion, the hotel didn't offer enough options. After placing a massive order for food, Damon made another phone call. This seemed important. Hi, Steph. Damon greeted Stephanie when she picked up the call. It's good that you remembered me, Stephanie said irritably. Did something happen? Casey is coming. Where are you? We are on the way home, Damon responded. He didn't care about Casey. When will you reach here? Not sure. Something came up. That's why I'm calling. Stephanie felt struck with concern. Are you kids okay? Damon smiled a little. Stephanie always treated them like kids. We are fine, but we are bringing someone with us. I want you to prepare a room for her. All right. Stephanie didn't think much about it. I'm not sure if we have free rooms in the common building because that's Maya's jurisdiction. But I can ensure that one of the single Omegas take her in until we figure out something permanent. The possibility of Talia being with some random person and away from Damon seemed out of the question. No, she will stay in the pack house in my old bedroom. Stephanie paused. The third floor belonged to the Alpha and his family. Did Damon finally find a woman he felt willing to marry? Are you bringing Marcy with you? Damon nearly choked on his saliva. What? No. Stephanie felt confused. Did he have time to pick up another woman? If not Marcy, then... I just don't want to, Steph, Damon snapped. If you say so, Stephanie said suspiciously. Since Damon became Alpha, they took in many members who lived as rogues or came from other packs, and no one got to stay in the pack house. And this represented Damon's old room, on the third floor that stayed off limits for anyone not related to Alpha. Damon rubbed his face forcibly. He had a good idea related to what Stephanie thought about. Don't make a big deal when there is none. The girl got hurt, and she had a hard time. She seems timid, and I believe that she doesn't have a wolf. I can't let her mingle with others until we ascertain her condition. Oh, and tell Travis to be ready to accept a patient. I want her to get a full checkup when we arrive. I will, Stephanie agreed. She didn't want to probe into this further. She saw Damon as her child, but she couldn't ignore the fact that he represented her Alpha, and she shouldn't question him. Anyway, there were other things for her to deal with. Can you give me an estimate on when you will reach here? Probably tomorrow morning. Stephanie groaned in frustration. That's when Casey would come, and Stephanie really didn't want to deal with her. Please hurry and drive safely. Damon hummed in agreement and ended the call. He looked at the bathroom door and listened to the sound of the shower, wondering if Talia had finished. The warm water of the shower allowed Talia to relax and forget about the troubles outside of that bathroom. Most of her wounds had scabbed, so shampoo didn't sting. But the bruises still hurt when she moved or washed bruised parts of her body. She would love to stay under that trickling warm water forever, but alas, all good things come to an end. Talia wrapped herself in a towel and observed her bruised appearance in the mirror while wondering how long it would take to heal. Talia delayed getting ready. Getting ready meant stepping outside, and there a scary alpha waited for her. Could she stay in the bathroom forever? Talia shook her head helplessly. What point existed in avoiding the inevitable? Talia couldn't help but wonder, why would he help her to leave the Red Moon Pack? Did he truly not have bad intentions? Talia didn't know about Damon's reputation, but she heard that Alpha seemed strong and prideful, always chasing power and proving their dominance, and they didn't go out of their way for anyone. Damon seemed different, confusing. Talia froze when she realized that she didn't have clean clothes. She would put on the ones she wore previously, but they had dried bloodstains and definitely didn't seem like something she should put back on. Talia collected her few possessions from the Red Moon Pack and bunched them into an overused bedsheet. But they stayed in the trunk of the car, and if Damon acted nice enough to bring them, they remained in the room and not in the bathroom where she needed them. Now what? Talia saw a bathrobe hanging on the hook next to the shower and decided to put it on. After a few deep breaths, Talia held onto the doorknob and opened the door ajar, just enough to peek into the hotel room. Part of her hoped that Damon slept, or that he left and that there would be no one in the room. But she saw him sitting on the bed and fiddling with his phone. After a few exceedingly long seconds, Damon lifted his gaze from the screen and eyed Talia. "How long are you going to stand there?" Talia cleared her throat nervously. "Did you bring my things from the car?" He didn't. When they got into the hotel, Damon carried Talia and Caden brought only Damon's suitcase. "What do you need?" "Clothes." Damon waved at Talia to come into the room. "First, I want to check your injuries." He cocked an eyebrow when he saw that she didn't move, half hidden behind the bathroom door. "Please, come on. I won't hurt you." Gingerly, Talia moved, and she saw Damon patting the bed, indicating for her to sit. She sat on the edge as far as possible from Damon and clutched the edges of the bathrobe, holding it tightly closed. Damon shook his head helplessly. Why did the only girl he really wanted to help reject him? Well, maybe not rejecting him, but she didn't look thrilled to be alone with him either. Damon moved closer to Talia and extended his hand, palm up. "Your hand." Talia put her hand into his, and he took a moment to adjust to the connection before inspecting it. It represented the hand he helped earlier that morning. The bruise looked significantly smaller, and the cut closed with the light pink color without a scab. Damon ran his finger over the pink line that used to be a scab. Damon wondered if Talia could sense their bond. A little bit? There should exist at least an attraction, right? The fact that Talia didn't show any signs she felt smitten bothered him more than he wanted to admit. Damon shook those thoughts away. It seemed better like this. The fewer people knew that Talia represented his mate, the safer she would be. He understood that Talia suffered in the Red Moon Pack, and her timid personality told him that she wouldn't fight for herself. She didn't seem like a fighter, and he didn't expect her to be. However, if the word spread that she represented his mate, his enemies would target her, and she would become his weakness. If he slipped and failed to protect her, he would never forgive himself. Damon decided to keep Talia close and make sure she had whatever she needed. He would be her protector and provide for her, and that would be enough. Maybe.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Talia sat stiffly next to Damon and observed him while he held her hand, the same one he helped earlier that morning. She remembered his grimace after tasting the bitter herbal paste, and she pressed her lips into a line while preventing a smile from showing on her face. It seemed comical. She never thought that an alpha could appear so childish. "Look how well it's healing. I told you that saliva works," Damon said, obviously pleased with himself. Talia silently admitted that he had a point. It healed much faster compared to other bruises and cuts she had. She wondered if her saliva would work, or maybe only werewolves who had their wolves produce saliva that healed. "Now, let me check the rest." Talia jolted at Damon's words. What rest did he mean? Damon extended his hand toward Talia, and she shrunk, making him halt his movements. "Is there a problem?" Damon asked with confusion obvious on his face. Talia, unable to answer, continues to cower under his gaze. "What's wrong with you?" his wolf chided him. "What did I do?" Damon asked. "Wipe that grin off your face! You are scaring the girl again!" He then softened his tone and said, "Will you allow me to check your injuries?" Damon asked as he went back to sit on the bed next to Talia. "At least on your arms and legs. If there is any other spot, let me know, and I will make sure you are not uncomfortable." "Only to check, right?" Talia asked in a small voice. It took him a moment to understand that she wouldn't let him treat her, and he realized, she thinks I will use saliva again. He reached for the bag that sat on the floor. "I got first aid supplies." It came from Caden and Maya, but Damon told them to get it, so that counted. Talia's eyes widened in surprise. "For me?" Damon felt pleased with her reaction. "We need to treat your wounds to make sure they don't get infected and they heal properly. It's either this or I use saliva. I don't mind how I see it. Skin is skin, regardless of which part of the body it covers." Talia looked flustered again, and Damon chuckled. "Tell me, where does it hurt?" Talia gave him her other hand, and he frowned while looking at her swollen wrist. "Let's see what we have for this." He fished out of the bag a spray that eased up the pain and a few packs of bandages and started working on it. 2 minutes later, Talia observed her wrist, which had several layers of bandage more than necessary. Damon realized that he used too much. "I'm not an expert at first aid. When we reach the Dark Howler's pack, the pack doctor will tend to your wounds. This is just to make you more comfortable until we get there." Talia felt moved. More than his words, his expression showed concern and a hint of embarrassment. "Thank you." At the sight of Talia's smile, Damon felt overwhelmingly pleased with himself. "All right. Where is the next injury?" Before Talia could respond, there came a knock on the door. 3 two-layered carts full of food entered the room. He wanted to treat the rest of her wounds, but he saw Talia staring at the food. "Let's eat first," Damon said. "See what is here and pick what you want." Talia's eyes opened wide and she swallowed hard. The delicious smell reminded her how hungry she felt, and she felt embarrassed when her tummy rumbled loudly. Talia licked her lips, hoping that she didn't drool. "Anything I want?" she asked while looking at Damon apprehensively. Damon's heart cracked a little, and he tried to suppress sadness and frustration that swelled inside him. He couldn't imagine what she went through to feel so happy about simple food items this hotel offered, and he wanted to return to the Red Moon Pack and confront them. How dare they neglect her? "Anything you want," Damon confirmed, and his words applied to more than the food in front of her. He would give her whatever she wanted, as long as he could see her smile. Under one condition. Seeing that she looked about to panic again, Damon quickly said, "Tell me your name." Talia blinked, wondering if she heard him right. "My name? Is that it?" "Is there something else you want to offer?" Damon asked teasingly, and he chuckled when Talia shook her head fervently. "Well, we've been together since morning, and I don't know how to call you. Hey, is not appropriate. She knew that he referred to how she called him Hay, twice. Talia. Talia, Damon repeated, pleased how her name rolled off his tongue. Talia. Talia, he said a few more times, and he thought that it sounded delicate and elegant, just like the woman in front of him. Now that he knew her name, Damon felt that they reached an important milestone, and he hoped that this would not indicate how everything else would go with Talia. If it took so much effort just to get her name, who knew how much he would need to work for her to want to kiss him? Damon facepalmed internally. Why did he think about kissing? Damon gestured toward the carts with the food. What do you want to start with? Talia was about to reach out for something but stopped herself. Won't you pick first? It was ages since she ate in a group setting, but Talia remembered that high-ranking members of the pack eat first. As a child, she always waited for others to have their picks before she could get food. And even if everyone had food in front of them, no one dared to eat before Alpha. And she was with one big, scary Alpha in the room right now. Damon shook his head in disapproval. Talia was obviously hungry, and he ordered all this food for her, yet she wanted him to eat first. Sure, normally in the pack, others wait for him. But this was not normal, and he didn't want Talia to feel that she was below him. Eat, he spoke in a voice that didn't allow for further arguments. He cleared his throat. Do you like it? Talia's eyes snapped open, and she nodded shyly. Damon smiled. I will order more of those. No need. There is so much food. Won't you eat also? Damon was surprised. She was obviously starving, yet she was concerned about him. Silly girl. He put the fork in his mouth and finished the half of the sausage that was there. Damon scooped some scrambled eggs and fed Talia, and then he got scrambled eggs for himself. I can eat on my own, Talia replied, and Damon shook his head in disapproval. I don't want to make your injuries worse. Take it easy until my pack doctor says you are fine, okay? Talia exhaled helplessly, but she was touched by his concern. She wanted to bring up the point that there is no need for them to share a fork, but she didn't want to appear whiny and complain. Bite by bite, Damon fed them in turns, and they ate in silence. He had a million questions he didn't know how to ask. Who is she? How did she find herself in the Red Moon Pack? How did she end up in the attic? But Damon kept those questions for himself, content that Talia was with him and that he could take care of her. The only thing that could make this better, in Damon's opinion, is if she could sit in his lap. Talia had a million questions she didn't dare to ask. Why did he help her escape? Why was he treating her kindly? Is he really taking her to his pack? He promised her a room, food, and a doctor. Is it really that easy? But Talia kept those questions for herself, content with all the food that entered her system. The only thing that could make this better, in Talia's opinion, is if she could put some clothes on. Eventually, she reached capacity. I'm full. Damon frowned. Really? You barely ate. You are eating like a mouse. An adorable mouse. There is no need to hold back in front of me. Please don't hold back anything in front of me. Or is it that you don't like it? I will order something else. I'm not holding back. This is the most I've eaten in years. Any more and I might have a tummy ache. It was delicious, and I thank you for everything. Damon exhaled helplessly and placed the bacon piece back on the plate. Talia was alarmed. Why did it sound like he was planning to make her gain weight so that he can eat her? Is he a cannibal? Well, that would explain a thing or two why they took her out of the Red Moon Pack in such a secretive way. If they eat her, no one will notice her missing. Talia felt like crying. Unaware of Talia's internal turmoil, Damon pushed the carts with food further away, and he kneeled in front of her.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Damon looked at Talia's shoulder. Some of these bruises are quite bad and might need a second layer of cream. This is more than enough, thank you, she spoke in a whisper. Damon was disappointed at the loss of that addicting touch, but he saw that Talia was uncomfortable, so he didn't want to push for it. He shook his head. What was he doing exactly? They stopped for some food and first aid, and they needed to head back on the road. Besides, didn't he decide to bring her with him and keep her safe, and there will be nothing more to it? He reached into his suitcase and got one t-shirt and shorts with a string at the waist. Here are some clothes to tide you over for now. Damon tossed clothes on the bed and left the room. He needed some air and distance between him and Talia. Maya, Damon called through the mind link. Can you check on the girl? We are leaving in half an hour. Damon didn't wait for Maya to respond, knowing that she is probably busy with Caden. He went to take a walk and clear his head. Back in the hotel room, Talia was confused, unsure what to think about this. First, she woke up with the scary Alpha in bed, who was holding her tightly. Then, he fed her and tended to her wounds. And then, he left without sparing her a glance. Did she do something wrong? Talia didn't expect Damon to be loving or caring, but when he left, he appeared angry. This only confirmed that Alpha Damon is an unstable person and that staying close to him won't be good. Talia told herself to stay calm. Soon, they will reach the Dark Howler's pack and she will see what waits for her. Hopefully, she can find a small corner for herself. A bed that comes with food and a set of duties, and no beatings or any other type of bullying. She wishes that people leave her alone, and maybe she could make a friend or two. If it doesn't work out, she can flee and try to make it on her own. Talia was reminded by Alpha Damon that joining a pack is a big deal, because with that, Alpha can track her down. She took a mental note not to join the Dark Howler's pack unless absolutely necessary, or at least until she confirms that she actually wants to stay there. It was vague, but it was the best plan she could come up with, and she decided to refine that plan as she gets more information. A knock on the door got Talia's attention. "Who is it?" she asked. "It's Maya. Can I come in?" Talia opened the door and saw that it was only Maya. Maya entered the room and eyed Talia, who was in the bathrobe. When Damon told her to check on the girl, Maya was not sure what to expect, but Talia seemed fine. Maya also took note of carts with food, which were obviously too much for two people. It only further confirmed Maya's theory that Talia is Damon's mate. When Maya and Caden found each other, for the first few months, Caden was obsessing about feeding Maya, and even now he often worries she might be hungry. It's something about male werewolves and their instinct to provide for their mate, food included. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves properly. I'm Maya. Talia shook Maya's hand. Talia. After introductions, Maya explained her presence. Alpha Damon told me to check on you. You should get ready so that we can go back to the road. We are a long way from our pack. Can you please get my stuff from the car? Talia asked Maya. It was in the trunk, wrapped in a bedsheet. Oh. A sound escaped Maya's lips when she remembered the bundle that was half open, just enough for Maya to see worn-out clothes. Give me a minute and I will get you something. A few minutes later, Maya was back with jeans, a t-shirt, and a pair of shiny flip-flops. I'm not sure if these will fit you, but it will be fine until we reach our destination. I know that I'm a size or two bigger than you, but I've got a belt for the jeans to hold them in place. Maya spoke quickly while stuffing clothes in Talia's hands and pushing her into the bathroom. Change quickly. We leave in a few minutes, and Alpha Damon doesn't like waiting. Thanks, Talia mumbled and closed the door behind her. Maya glanced through the room and saw on the bed the t-shirt and shorts that Damon gave to Talia. Maya shook her head in disapproval. Other than shorts being the meshed ones for the gym, the t-shirt would probably look like a sack on Talia, who has a small frame. What was Damon thinking? To bring Talia into the pack looking like a hobo? Doesn't he know that first impressions are important? Forget about the image of a respectable Luna. Whoever sees Talia in those clothes will never see her as a decent girl. Werewolves may have scandalous lifestyles, but their dressing is on point, especially the she-wolves who are hovering around Damon. Once Talia establishes herself, she can wear whatever she wants. Thinking about appearances, Maya dashed back into her room and returned with several accessories. "Thank you for the clothes," Talia said shyly when she peered out of the bathroom. The t-shirt and jeans were good, nearly new. Talia was really grateful, but also embarrassed as well because she knew that those were Maya's clothes. "These are a bit big for you. Once we get you clothes that actually fit, you will be a stunner." Maya spoke with a wink and gestured toward the chair. "Sit there. Let me do your hair." Talia sat on the chair and let Maya comb her hair. "Are you excited to come to the Dark Howlers pack?" Maya started small talk. "I'm not sure what to expect," Talia responded honestly. "It's busy, lively, and there are all kinds of people. But Alpha Damon makes sure things run smoothly. Rewards and punishments are given fairly, and no one undermines his position." "You speak highly of him." Maya hummed in confirmation. "I joined the pack when I met Caden, but I know the story of young Damon who lost his parents before he came of age. Alpha Damon was forced to take over the pack, or to give it up for other alphas to tear it apart. Only he knows what hardships he endured, and he fought many official battles before turning 20 years old. There is a reason why other alphas don't dare to provoke Alpha Damon, even though he is half their age. Alpha Damon will do anything to keep us safe, and thanks to his strength and dedication, the Dark Howlers pack prospers." Talia listened carefully and she felt sorry for Damon. The scary Alpha became a bit pitiful in her eyes because she knew very well what it means to lose parents at a young age. Talia grew up on her own, and she thought that maybe she had it better compared to Damon because she was able to hide in the attic while Damon was forced into the limelight. "He sounds like a good alpha," Talia replied. Maya smiled. "He is the best. Alpha Damon protects his own. As long as you are loyal to him and to the pack, he will make sure you are fine. No one will harm you, Talia." Talia pressed her lips into a line while telling herself not to get carried away. Everything so far appeared to be good, but she feared that it might be too good, and she was not ready to drop her guard yet. Maya didn't say more, knowing that Damon's interest in Talia went beyond the one of a pack leader. And his reputation in that area was horrible.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.